Sylvia Marie Likens was born on January 3, 1949, in Lebanon, Indiana. She was a sweet, shy, and gentle girl. A daughter, a sister, a teenager trying to make her way through life like any other kid in 1960s America. Her parents, Lester and Betty Likens, worked as traveling carnival workers. The job was demanding, constantly moving from town to town. They struggled to support their 5 children and provide the stability every child. In July of 1965, the Likens made a decision that would unknowingly seal their daughter's fate. They met a woman named Gertrude, a 37-year-old single mother of 7, living in a rundown house in Indianapolis. Gertrude offered to take care of Sylvia and her younger sister, Jenny, who had polio and wore a leg brace, while their parents worked on the road. The Likens agreed to pay $20 a week, trusting that their daughters would be safe. They were wrong. Needs. At first, things seemed normal, but as soon as 1 week's payment arrived late, Gertrude snapped. The late payment triggered something cruel and violent inside her. Sylvia became the target of her rage. Not Jenny, only Sylvia. What began as verbal insults and slaps quickly escalated into beatings, starvation, humiliation, and eventually torture. But Gertrude didn't act alone. Gertrude's own children joined in. So did neighborhood kids. Sylvia was burned with cigarettes, beaten with belts and paddles. She was thrown downstairs, forced to eat her own feces, and locked in the cold, dark basement without food or clothing. At one point, Gertrude's daughter carved the words, "I'm a prostitute and proud of it," into Sylvia's stomach with a hot needle. Sylvia's body became a canvas of violence. Her voice unheard, her suffering ignored. No one helped. Not the neighbors, not the school, not even the children who participated. For 3 months, Sylvia endured unimaginable torment, completely alone. On October 26, 1965, Sylvia Likens took her last breath. Her emaciated, broken body could take no more. Just before her death, she whispered, "Daddy, I want to die. I'm not going to make it." Gertrude tried to cover up the murder by forcing one of the boys to write a fake letter, claiming Sylvia ran away with a gang of boys and returned injured. But it was too late. Someone finally spoke up. A neighborhood girl who had witnessed the abuse told her mother. The police were called. When investigators saw Sylvia's body, they were horrified. Her body bore over 150 wounds. Gertrude, her daughter Paula, and 3 neighborhood boys were arrested and charged. In 1966, the trial began. The courtroom heard testimony from Sylvia's sister Jenny, who bravely said, "You didn't do anything to help her, did you?" Gertrude was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. But shockingly, she was paroled after 20 years and released in 1985. Paula received a lesser sentence. The others were sent to juvenile facilities or served reduced terms. None served a sentence that could match the horror they inflicted. Sylvia's death shocked America. It exposed the failures of society, how neighbors, teachers, and even children turned a blind eye. She was buried in New Crown Cemetery in Indianapolis. Her tombstone reads, "Our darling daughter." And just beneath that, "You'll never know how many lives you touched." And it's true, because Sylvia's story lives on. Her tragedy sparked conversations about child abuse, intervention, and silence. Her life, though brutally cut short, continues to warn and awaken. Sylvia Likens was just 16 years old. She wanted to go to school. She wanted to be loved. She wanted to live. And for all the pain she endured, she still deserves to be remembered. This was her story, May we never forget it. If you were moved by this story, leave a comment with justice for Sylvia. Subscribe for more true crime documentaries that reveal the hidden tragedies behind the headlines. Studio Microphone, this is Real Mystery Crime, where real crime meets real emotion.